Hey guys, just wanted to give you a little quick rundown. First of all, here's my gaming setup, my gaming closet, if you will. I just kind of have my little... I usually have guns hanging here, but they're downstairs in the shop. Got my awards, got my Astro headset, Xbox is underneath. So... just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of one of my favorite guns in PUBG, which is the Kriss Vector. So I had to have one of these. I kind of always wanted one, even before, you know, I was like using it in video games. And they came out with this Gen 2. It comes in combat gray, black, it actually comes in white, it comes in flat dark earth, which is like a desert tan, and OD green, which is like an army military green. So yeah, so I just wanted to give, if you guys were interested or whatever, I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of kind of what it looks and feels like in real life, and this is it. I kind of modded this one out pretty heavily. I added this folding stock on the back of it, and the purpose of that is to kind of let me put it in a backpack and carry it when I go on trips. So I can grab this backpack, I keep it in my car with, you know, extra mags, ammo. It's just like a, you know, if it's some type of crazy situation pops off or something, or even it's happened to where my friends randomly call me and I'm out and they're like, hey man, I'm going to the shooting range, you want to come? Sure, I've got everything I need with me. It's easy, I mean, just with a quick pull, come up, you're ready to go. The optic I'm using here is a primary arms red dot sight. It's an advanced red dot sight. You can keep it on for about 6 or 7 years straight without turning it off. I've had mine on for... I've had this one on for about probably 2 or 3 years without turning it off. And every time I go to the range, it's zeroed in, perfectly dialed in, despite being thrown in a backpack, thrown in the trunk. I mean, it's a sweet little red dot, especially for something, you know, I've got Trigicons and I've got EOTechs, but this one, as far as battery goes and everything, I mean, it's held up perfectly, and it's under $200 optic, which is really nice. I put a SBA3 pistol brace on it. It's fully collapsible. I put a Magpul sling mount on the back for my sling, my cutie mount. Probably my only complaint with this gun is there's not really a good spot to mount your sling. I don't know why they didn't add one like in here somehow, but it works okay, but it could be better positioned for sure. The other thing I like about this gun is just the ergonomics of how you just put your hand naturally on it, and it feels like everything is just right at your fingertips. I've got my bolt release here, I've got my mag release here. It's a side charging handle, and a little safety feature, whenever you move it back just like this, even without charging it, you can see the bolt moves back slightly, and you can actually see if there's a round in there, which there is not, because I safety checked it before I made this video. So another thing that actually kind of surprised me about this when I got it was, when you see it, it kind of looks like it should be a smaller gun. This one's chambered at 9mm. It has a 5.5-inch barrel. I put a silencer code muzzle brake on here. I have a suppressor for it. It's a quick mount, it just sticks on. It's kind of how big it is. It's not as like, it's almost like a small like carbine feel and less of like a really compact pistol feel. I can throw it in my backpack and all this stuff, but for reference, this is an 11.5-inch AR pistol, and this is the Kriss Vector side by side. They're about the same size, and you're shooting 5.56 out of this, and you're shooting a 9mm out of this. That being said, I've hit a 4-inch clay at 100 yards with this thing, with a 5.5-inch barrel and a 9mm. But just like a size comparison, I mean, it's not too much smaller comparing, you know, what you're getting. Just want to show you guys that. Another thing I really do like about the Vector, and one of the reasons I went with it, is because my concealed carry, or like I say concealed carry, more like my backpack / glove box travel gun, is a Glock 19X. And the 19X is, for those of you who don't know, is a Glock 19 slide on a 17 frame. Actually takes the same magazines as the Kriss Vector. So I can literally pull the mag out and it fits. So I don't have to worry about which mags I'm grabbing, whatever, and that's why this is kind of my travel gun. It's because everything I keep in my car is chambered in 9mm and all takes the same mag. So I know that no matter what mag I'm grabbing, it'll fit into whatever I'm holding. But there's so many different mag options because you have standard Glock 17 mags, which just fit flush in there. You have the extended 19X mags, which fit flush in there. You have Glock 33 round mags, which is what you get in the game whenever you get extended mags. Those fit, that's your basically extended mag. And then Kriss actually made a mag extension that goes on an extended mag. So you can buy just the extension and remove this base plate by pushing this pin and taking it out and putting the extension on, and this gives you 40 rounds. They should add this to the game, 40 round mag. But it's made by Kriss, or you can buy the whole set. That's what I did. They give you a Glock factory bag, they put the extension on, they ship it to you, 40 rounds. This is what stays with the gun basically the whole time. And if I need to go to reloads, I've got, you know, my Glock 19 mags, or I keep 2 spare ones of these inside of the backpack that you just saw. Yeah, so I keep them loaded up with Hornady Critical Defense, which is kind of like a type of hollow point that's filled with a rubber cap. Allows for good penetration and expansion at the same time. But yeah, that's it. I mean, well, actually, why don't I show you how it works? So, the cool thing about, you'll notice in the game how it's just has no recoil. That is like absolutely true in real life. So what Kriss did with this is they completely did a whole new recoil system, and I'm going to show you how that works. On a standard AR-15, you have a bolt, which is this charging handle, and back in here in this tube there's a weight and a spring, and as the gun fires, the bolt moves back and the spring and the weight depress, and all the energy is directed in kind of this horizontal fashion. So you're getting the, you know, the muzzle blast, or whatever you want to call it, and it kind of, you know, it'll push the gun back, but you also have this energy being directed straight back into your shoulder. So it's kind of a backwards motion every time you fire. Well, what makes the Vector unique is the recoil system, instead of coming back into here like this, it moves downwards into here. That's why this is so boxy. The entire recoil mechanism is in here, and I will show you how that works, because the Vector is super easy to take apart. You need no tools to take it apart. You just push these little tabs in like this and pull it out. Super easy. That's the buffer system that just kind of popped out there. So you pulled that apart, and then the gun just separates into two pieces. You have your upper receiver and your lower receiver. The lower receiver can work, any Kriss lower receiver will work on an upper. So let's say you decided one day, I want to shoot 45 ACP, I want to shoot 10mm, all you got to do is, well, all you got to do, it's expensive, but buy a 10mm or a 45 or a 40 lower receiver, and you can smack it in here and put your pins in, and you're shooting a different caliber immediately. It's kind of weird. Most, like in AR-15s, most of the hammers swing up and in. The Kriss Vector swings down. This is actually the hammer that hits the firing pin. Everything's up in here. You know, you can kind of see that and get my hands dirty, but yeah. So that's the upper. So I'll show you the recoil system. So here you have your bolt, the front of the end of the gun, your bolt, and then what happens when you shoot is the buffer system actually pulls the bolt downward. And as it pulls it down, you know, right when it gets about here, it ejects the shell and then moves all the way down and keeps moving. So this is your bolt. It's funny, it's so small. This is your bolt. That's what the back of the round goes into. That little hole you see right there is the firing pin. And this is your buffer system. So as the bolt is moving down, as the bolt is moving back and down, this is the spring, buffer and spring. So it all kind of fits in there like this. So that's why. So yeah, here's your barrel right here, your charging handle. It's very, not a complicated system, but it just works. I mean, it's so easy to do it. To put it back in, there's two tracks on the bottom here. So you slide the bolts into the first track, the buffer system into the second track. And it just slides back up in there. Then you put your pin in. Put your upper and lower back on top of each other. Just like that. Then you can put the rest of your pins in. No tools required. Super easy. And that's it. Yeah, so the buffer system you just saw, as you're firing, instead of the recoil wanting to go back like most guns, or most AI, so it should say AR platform guns, it's moving downwards. So as the muzzle wants to climb from the round going off, simultaneously it's slamming it back down, just giving you a really even kind of recoil pattern. I mean, as you're shooting this thing, it just doesn't move. You know, I feel like I can cut the center of a bullseye out just, I mean, as fast as I can, as fast as I can pull the trigger. My shots are always landing on point. I love this thing. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a rundown of that. If you like seeing this type of stuff, I mean, I can do more videos. I know a lot of people that play video games go on YouTube and stuff and look up those guns that they like to use and see how they function in real life. So I can definitely do more, you know, if this video gets enough attention, you guys want to see it. I also run a channel called Dire Armory, D-I-R-E Armory, and I do all sorts of gun videos. I do short films, I do some comedy, like gun related comedy in there, and it's just a really fun page. I'll put the link up. I've kind of kept my Crocky 90 stuff separate from my gun stuff, but I don't know, maybe it's something we could kind of merge, and if you like seeing that stuff. Anyways, yeah, this is it. The Kriss Vector Gen 2 9mm Glock mag compatible. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more. I'll see you guys later.